Hi, everybody. This is our second lecture. The first lecture, we talked about an introduction to the class and the importance of Healthy People 2020. So keep that in mind. And then I ended it with the song that has the lyric, "I'm not sick, but I'm not well." So we're going to talk about being sick and being well in this lecture. So health, we're going to have definition. We're going to have definition of wellness, and then we're going to say how lifestyles are relatable and lead to a sense of well-being and quality of life. There is an acronym. It's going to be one of your multiple choice questions that I'm going to put on the first test. We'll talk about that when we get closer to July 15th. But there's an acronym called HALE, Healthy Adjusted Life Expectancy, and it has to do with wellness. So it's saying that, the next slide is going to give you the definition of health, which is having some sort of illness or impaired function. You want to look at the number of years of your life and see, hopefully, more, yes, good quality days than having poorly functioning days. So HALE is just an index or a scale that looks at one's life expectancy, saying that, okay, we want to work on wellness being a positive aspect of your health. So the definition of health is a state of being associated with freedom from illness and disease. The definition of wellness is the positive component of health, because we found out that there were a lot of people that didn't have diseases or debilitating conditions, but they also didn't have a sense of well-being or a good quality of life. And on the other end of that spectrum is that you have people who do have illnesses and diseases and have a wonderful quality of life because of their total outlook on these different dimensions that make up wellness. So achieving wellness is a product of a healthy lifestyle. So just like fitness, which we'll talk about next week, you have to exercise in order to be fit. In order to have wellness, you have to lead healthy lifestyles. And also, wellness is a perception of how you feel about your life, as well as your ability to function effectively in a constructive manner. So it's not how other people saying, "Oh, I don't think she has very good social wellness." But if you feel like, "Oh yeah, I'm happy, I feel involved, I don't feel lonely," then that's what's important, is your feelings about your wellness. So there are 5 dimensions of health and wellness, wellness being a positive component of health. Physical, the name of this class, spiritual, emotional, which could also be referred to as mental health, your social wellness, and your intellectual wellness. So here they are again, and these are the 5 dimensions, and you can look at them in the way that you perceive and how you feel about it, saying, okay, in terms of my emotional and my mental health, am I feeling happy on the positive end, or kind of depressed on the negative end? What is my perception? My intellectual health is saying, am I feeling informed? I'm getting stuck. Informed or ignorant is the negative word for that. So let me see if I can get this to move. Oh, there they all are, which is awesome. Let me just put them all up there. Okay. Informed on the positive side, intellectual wellness. Am I using information and knowledge in a constructive way to help me with my sense of well-being? Or am I feeling kind of lost and not knowing really what's going on? Physical wellness. Am I feeling fit? Being able to function effectively throughout my day without being fatigued and tired? Or am I feeling unfit? Not being able to go up and down the flight of steps, not being able to break into a sprint and catch a bus. How am I perceiving my physical wellness? Remember, it's nothing wrong with me physically, but this is my wellness aspect of it, the positive aspect. Lonely. Am I feeling involved, connected, or am I feeling my social wellness in the lonely, negative perception? Am I feeling isolated? We can look at social distancing right now. It's during the spring semester, I was telling my students I like the idea of looking at it as physical distancing, where you just have to remove yourself from other people to keep you safe and keep them safe, but you can still stay connected socially through things like this, online, virtual, Zoom meetings, watching movies together through FaceTime. And then my spiritual wellness. Am I feeling fulfilled? Sense of value, sense of belief system? Or am I feeling unfulfilled? Again, they're all connected. So then you look at your total outlook, which is either positive or negative in terms of your total outlook. So this is why wellness was constructed, because a person who has really not the best in health, but has a positive outlook on life, then they have their wellness. A person who has great health physiologically, go to the doctor every year, annual physical, perfect health, but poor outlook on life, then they have not wellness. So here are the 5 dimensions all tied together, kind of like a muscle fiber. This class looks at muscles and activity. So we're going to take it and we're going to look at it intertwined and how they're related. So it's our physical wellness, the name of the class, our intellectual wellness, our emotional and mental wellness, our social wellness, and our spiritual wellness. And then throughout the years, just like everything, just like Healthy People 2020, we're going to move into 3030. There are always evolving knowledge and information. So there are 3 additional dimensions of wellness that have been added since we started teaching this class. They are environmental wellness, occupational wellness, how satisfied you feel, and financial wellness. These 3 things can kind of tie into the other 5. So we keep those 5 as the core of wellness. And then we say, okay, let's look at how wellness can grow. How are we environmentally? How are we occupationally? How are we financially? Those are kind of outside our inner feelings, but they can affect our quality of life and our sense of well-being. So I want you guys to know there are 8 in total. 5 are the core, how you feel, your perception. Other 3 can come from the outside and affect the other 5. So in total there are 8. But the first 5 are the ones you really want to focus on. So now now we know what health and wellness is. Let's look at what how lifestyle helps enhance your wellness. There are 3 priority lifestyles for good health: regular physical activity, eating healthy, managing stress. This is what I tell people Kines 235 is all about. When somebody says, what do we learn about in this class? This is what we're going to learn about. We're going to learn about how lifestyles are like the biggest contributing factor to your health and wellness. So we want to promote healthy lifestyles, and some of those healthy lifestyles are more important than others in terms of your overall wellness. So being physically active on a regular basis, what you put into your body nutrition-wise, eating healthy, and how you manage your stress are priority lifestyles for good health. I hope I can get through this computer in 5 weeks because it's starting to break. Let me just keep clicking things. very late. I tell you, I think I might have to buy a new computer this summer, you guys. All right. So, I just said this, but so these priority lifestyles, the reason they're considered priority, top three, is because they affect the lives of all people. If you talk to people, if they make New Year's resolutions, they're usually tied around these three things. They want to go to a gym. They want to work out. They want to start eating healthier. They want to be able to manage their time and not be so overwhelmed with stress, which is going to be one of our big topics that we talk about this summer. So most everybody can make improvements, and that's why they're considered priority. So small changes in any of these three, or all of these three, can have a major impact on not only yourself, but also when we look at public health and Healthy People 2020. So lifestyle is being established as one of the most important contributing factors to premature death in our society. Generations ago and years ago, with scientific technology wasn't up to snuff, and people were dying from diseases and things that now we have cures for. Now we're saying there's still people getting sick. There's still people dying, obviously, but a lot of it is contributed to poor lifestyle, not having regular physical activity, not eating healthy, not being able to manage their stress in a constructive, good, positive way. So there's also been some studies saying that, as we get older, sometimes we learn how to manage our lifestyle behaviors better than when we're younger. So there's been some studies, and this is a college class, we're saying that overall, when you look at things, and it could be up for debate, but overall, when the authors of this book put this together, they came to the conclusion that college students are more likely to eat poorly and abuse alcohol than older adults. So think about that for a second. Maybe I can make this a discussion board, and we can see how you guys feel about this. So we learned about the three priority lifestyles. Here's a long list of what's considered lifestyles, kind of the context of your life. We can go back to environmental wellness in a way. So the top three are there. That's important for you guys to remember. Then we go into avoiding destructive habits, practicing safe sex, adopting good health safety habits, like wearing seatbelts and not texting and driving, things like that. Destructive habits would be things like abusing alcohol, abusing drugs, learning first aid, adopting good personal health habits, which is very important now with the COVID-19 in terms of wearing a mask and washing your hands, seeking and complying with medical advice, being an informed consumer, and protecting the environment. So these are all considered context of one's lifestyle. Look at the list, think about some are more important than others. I mean, if somebody doesn't know first aid, that wouldn't have as big of impact on their health and wellness as if they're participating in destructive habits. So some of them have more of a personal impact than others, but these are all considered healthy lifestyles. And then the end of this lecture talks about another acronym. So we had the HAIL, which has to do with your quality of life. And now we have something called HELP, which is the philosophy that the textbook chose to take. And it talks about help, help, but it's a good thing. Health is for everyone, for a lifetime, and it's personal. So they say that, if you don't have a philosophy for a foundation for a healthy lifestyle, think about your health, your lifestyles. They're most effective when you've been doing them for a long time, but it's never too late to change. And personal, based on personal needs and interests. So next week, I'm going to go over fitness, and then I'm always going to be accessible and available to you guys through email. I'm going to try to have those Wednesday meetings. So have a great week. And this computer's driving me a little bit crazy, but I will see and talk to you guys soon. Bye.